Hello and welcome to this episode of the Naked Coach Collective podcast. I'm your host, Darshana Qureshi, aka D, and I will be hosting today's podcast and interviewing a very special guest. Rowan Tissera is a life and body transformation coach. He has been coaching for over 10 years and has transformed over 3,500 lives. His unique style of blending life coaching with his body transformations has allowed him to tap into the minds of his clients so he can help them overcome the mental blocks that are holding them back. His approach has been so effective that Bollywood frequently hire him to work with actors who may be struggling with depression, drugs, alcohol issues, and gets them into shape before filming. His mission statement, and this made me gasp when I heard it, but I mean, think big, why not, right? Okay. His mission statement is to change 1 million 1 million lives for the better. Rowan Tissera, I am absolutely thrilled that you are here and I can't wait to hear more. Welcome.
Welcome. Indeed. I will, I'll give my best to give you, to your viewers some great tips and give them a laugh at least.
Absolutely. I mean, we're all about a laugh here as well as some real deep information that I know you've got there. So let's get going, shall we?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Tell me a little bit about your journey. What's brought you to this point?
Oh God, where do I start, Darshana?
Different.
I tell you what, so many years ago, I actually was an accountant, and not a great accountant as well. And I didn't really enjoy, I was kind of like pressured into you're either going to be, as an Asian, you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, and accountant, one of the three. Yeah. And so, I kind of was a very mediocre accountant. I wasn't doing very well. Didn't like my job, didn't get paid very well. And I just hated it. And then I had an opportunity a few years later. I actually worked my way up to financial controller, and I had an opportunity to travel abroad. So I went abroad, and then I couldn't find a job in Australia as an accountant. So I was struggling to find a job. And so I ended up doing a bit of personal training because I've always done kind of training my friends for many years. So I was into sports when I was younger. So just literally to pay the bills to eat when I was in Australia, I was training a few people in the building that I was staying. And I absolutely loved it. I was like, this is brilliant. And so when I came back to the UK a year later, I thought, this is a great time now to try something different. So instead of going back to my job, I quit my job, and then I started personal training. Loved personal training, but didn't pay very well. I think I was earning about £8 an hour, working 100 hours a week. And it was just like, oh my God, just killing my mind and my soul. But I loved it so much because I loved working with people, helping people, changing lives. And it was great, but I didn't feel like, coming from a business background, it was like, no, I should be doing, changing lives. I should have like a 95% success rate. And I was kind of maybe hitting at around kind of 5 to 10% transformations, people hitting goals of the clients I had, which the industry standard was pretty normal. Look, something's missing. Why am I really struggling? And why are all these other personal trainers struggling to help change all the clients that, a client comes to you and says, look, I've got to change my life. We want to do it. It wasn't working. So I figured out that actually what people needed was an overall approach to helping with the nutrition. Number one, which a lot of personal trainers, we just don't have the time because we've got 40 clients. We're, working 80 to 100 hours, a week. How can we support our clients outside of personal training session? And a PT session's 3 hours a week if you're doing it 3 times a week, and the rest of the time we don't know what the hell they're doing, right?
Absolutely.
So I thought, how can I bring nutrition in? And most importantly, how can I work with my clients' minds? Because at the end of the day, you can have the best plan, you can have the best training program, you can even have a diet plan. But if you don't have this where it needs to be, you're not going to follow that plan, and you're not going to make the changes that you need, not only just to lose weight, to get healthy, but to keep that for the rest of your life. So then I realized that, okay, if I started an online coaching program, I could literally be there for my clients. I could spend so many hours a week, coaching clients, providing with the meal plans, providing them with training programs, checking them in once a week, doing calls 2-3 times a week where people can come and get the help they need. And so I was able to provide all my clients with so much support that they're all able to achieve their goals. So now we've got like a 95% success rate. So it's like, okay, now we've got something that helps people.
Wow. I mean, 95%, it's phenomenal, because I know a lot of people who have been on that weight loss, gain journey. And, I'm myself one of those people. It's a lifelong struggle. And, having tried all the diet groups and everything else, what they don't teach you is how to sort that out, how to get that in the game, and I mean, what made you think, hold on, okay, so I'm training people, I'm giving them nutrition guides, what made you not suddenly, but what made you realize that actually it has to be more than that? Were you getting people who were coming back to you because they'd like fallen off the wagon, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was kind of like, so like when I guess it was just more the personal training side. It was more like, when I got them onto the program, onto the online coaching program, it was a game changer. It's like, wow, now they've got all the tools, now they've got the help. But I guess it was with the personal training side, it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because also for me, like, it's not just you want to help people, but also for me, as my work, as my profession, I want to feel good about myself, that, that I do something, I have a purpose and a use, on this planet. And so it wasn't great for me personally to go, well, I'm failing here. Like,
right.
I'm failing my clients, I'm failing myself. And so it was that failure of like, has to be something, like, what am I missing? And I was just searching and searching. I was trying different things.
Wow.
And I was like, there has to be an answer. I don't want to be, I don't want to be like all these, this sounds bad, but I don't want to be like all these other personal trainers who were just failing their clients. And I was like, and I just took a step back and said, okay, go back to being an accountant. And I used to do go into different businesses, and we do audits of the business and look, what are the bottlenecks in this business? What is not working? And then give a plan for the business. Look, these are things we found. These are your holes. This is what you need to plug in. I said, do that for your own business. Stop coming from it from fitness, coming from a business side.
Right.
So when I did that, I was like, okay, what do these guys, literally as a piece of paper, what do these companies need? They need a diet plan. They need a training program that works, that fits in with their lifestyle, but they also need the mindset coaching. Okay. So at that point I was like, okay. And Tony Robbins, like, what does Tony Robbins do? Because like Tony Robbins helped me in my life. I was like, well, he's a life coach. So then I went and did life coaching. So I qualified as a life coach. And then when I understood the life coaching aspect, I was like, this is amazing. I can bring this stuff into my team with all my clients. And now I can start actually getting into people's blocks and problems. And then, it'd be like a call. We'd have like 100 people on a call, and someone would say something like, it could be like, my partner it's just all the time, just, doesn't support me. It just doesn't value me. And I feel like I have to carry the whole household on my own. And it'd be like, that thing is blocking them from actually, having the bandwidth to eat well, to train, like, because they're consumed over here. And it's like, if we don't fix this problem, like, they're never going to be able to get into shape.
Exactly.
And it's got nothing to do with nutrition. It's nothing to do with a diet plan or a training program or how many steps or how much water you drink. Real life block. And other personal trainers, if I was just a personal trainer, I couldn't help. I wouldn't even know what questions to ask. I wouldn't even think that this would affect someone. And so it was that side of the health and wellness sphere that really excited me. And that's why I would go to Bollywood and I would work with all these actors who are having all sorts of depression, alcohol problems, drug problems, and no personal trainer in the world, like, they'd have the best ones from Hollywood or wherever, Australia. They just couldn't get this client to work because the client didn't want to turn up for a session. The client didn't want to eat the food, and so they called me, and I would come in. And I would just work with that client with their mindset, and then we would work there. I would talk to them, I'd life coach them, and then get them into the gym, and then work with their chefs, and then get them ready. And it's like, they call me at the last minute because I'm expensive, right? They got me at the last minute. So I'm like, oh my God, I've got 12 weeks. Or sometimes I had, people, actors and actresses, they've got 30 days.
Right.
We have these like crazy schedules of training, like, 4 hours in the gym. We've got 30 days to get them into, for one scene, 1 5-second scene where they've got to take their top off, And so that really excited me.
Wow. Okay. So many things I want to pick up on there. Mindset, Tony Robbins, what he did for you. But first of all, the mindset. what sort of things do you do to to explore their mindset, to have an impact on their mindset and create a change that then makes them want to go, all right, okay, I'm ready to go to the gym now, or I'm ready to look at my nutrition?
Yeah, it's really like, I guess the first thing is like with my clients, like it is trust, right? So, my clients trust me. I'm very, people who listen to this, me, like, I'm very to the point. I'm very direct. I'm very blunt.
Yeah.
I'm not here to take people's money. I don't care about people's money. I have money. I'm lucky. I have a good business. It pays my bills. So I'm not chasing pounds. So I'm not afraid to ask a client, or maybe challenge a client sometimes on something, because I'm fearful that, they're going to get upset and leave. I'm like, no. Like, I'm going to have this conversation with you. And there's trust, because they know that I'm genuine.
Yeah.
People will open up to me. And then when we realize what the real problem is, and sometimes it takes probing, because, you ask someone what's wrong, they tell you something over here when it's actually something over here.
Yeah.
But as long as you're able to ask the right questions and keep going, find the problem, and then offer a strategy, offer a solution, and say, okay, this is, for your weekly check-in, it's not about, I want you to now increase your calories by 100. It's like, I want you to go and work on this thing over here.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to say no to 5 people this week, because you can't prioritize yourself, because you're people pleasing all the time, and you make yourself last at the list. How do you ever expect to do anything when it comes to your health and fitness? There's all these kind of challenges and blocks that hold people back.
So you really are giving it to them, right? You're making them, they sign up for you, they're signing up for change. It's
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you think that there is any kind of success without the mindset? Because, there's a lot of people out there, and your business is transforming their own lives, I'd imagine. So it's a special interest point for me, so I'm just going to ask the question. We may put this out afterwards, but I'm just going to ask the question. What do you think of all these slimming groups and that's the food side, and then we have the training side, like the big companies, Peloton and things. What do you think about those? And I know you don't want to badmouth or anything, but just just your opinion on these sorts of things that don't have a holistic approach like you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think like everything serves a purpose in life. And so, let's say like, you've got a holiday booked, it's 8 weeks, and you just want to lose some weight, but, that's the only outcome we want. Then I think, some of these systems would work great. There's a lot of coaches out there. They're the opposite of me. There's nothing holistic about it. There's no life coaching. There's no coaching. It's just, here's a diet plan, here's a training program, go and do it. Yeah. Now, when someone comes in and they've got a holiday and they're really motivated, they'll eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. They'll eat 3 protein shakes a day. They'll do that, and they will lose the weight, because these plans will work for sure. But then when they go on holiday, then they come back. Then the weight will come back on, because nothing's changed. And so, again, if you're just going on holiday and you just want to cut 5 kg, great, they're great. But if you actually want to change your life, like, these programs are not going to help you. Because my goal is not, if a client signs up with me, they want to lose 10 kg or 30 kg. Most of my transformations are around 20 to 30 kg, right? Their goal is to lose, let's say, 30 kg. But my goal for them is like, no, the goal is to never put the weight back on.
Yeah.
So I need to coach you for that. Now, we will lose the 30 kg, of course, but the goal is, how can I change your attitude and your behavior and the way that you think? Yeah. So you never put the weight back on. And that is it. It's not about, what foods to eat, or it's not about that. It's about your attitude to yourself. It's your attitude to other people, to the world. And it's what you value. What do you value? I literally just got off a call for you. And I said to the person that was on the call, I said, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I can help you. I don't want your money. And I'm sorry if this is upsetting, but I don't feel that you value your health. And if you don't value your health, you're never going to change. So I'm not going to take you on. I don't care about the £1,000 that I'm going to get for the package. I don't care about that. Yeah. If I took that money, I'm robbing you, because we know that you're not going to change, because you don't even on this call want to talk about, this is not important. You don't value your health. So there's no coach on the planet that's going to ever help you. Because if they said to me, you're right, Rowan, I don't value my health, but I want to learn to value my health. I'm like, okay, cool, let's work on that.
Right.
You can't help everyone.
Yeah.
You can ask the right questions and then you can coach people. But there has to be a willingness to want to value themselves and want to change their lifestyle.
Wow. You know what? I'm so inspired by you. Just listening to you, I could listen to you talk about this all day, but I'm going to ask you another question about the way that you train, because I'm assuming this guy might have been a one-to-one, but you have something called the Meraki Movement.
Yes.
Right. So tell me more about that. Tell our listeners more about that, because I have been doing a little bit of snooping, of course, but let's hear it from you.
Definitely. So the Meraki Movement is essentially, it's a community. It's a community of people who I brought together who all want to change their life. They all want to completely improve the quality of their life. That could be their health, it could be the way that they think. It could be earning more money at work. It could be improving their relationships, because it's all health and wellness. So it's a complete health and wellness center. Right. And the word Meraki is a Greek word, and it means to put a bit of your soul and your heart into everything you do. And that has been my philosophy. That's what changed my life. Yeah. Now, I was a brokey back in the day. I honestly, at my lowest point before I changed things around, I had about £20 in my life.
Yeah.
£20 in my bank. That was it. I couldn't afford the bus to work. I lost a job because I couldn't afford to get to work.
Oh, no. Okay.
And my approach to life was I just didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't put an effort into anything. Right. It's when I learned that, even if I'm like, let's say I'm working in a restaurant, right? And I'm a waiter, like I'm going to make sure that every table I clean, I'm going to clean it to the highest of standard. Like anything I do, if I'm a curtain arranger, I'm going to make it perfect. And when you have that approach in life, like you'll see your life will just exponentially grow. And it's that passion that you put into everything you do. So when you come home from work, as a guy, you don't just go, oh, I've had a hard day, I'm knackered. You say to your wife, hey, baby, like, how's your day been?
Nice.
It's that love and attention to everything in your life. And when you have that and you understand how that will benefit your life and everyone around you, it's game changer.
Wow. And how do these people work together? Is it all online? Do you have a physical base? It sounds like something that I've got your number now, because absolutely everything you said about putting your heart and soul into everything you do, I can resonate with that, because the things that I'm doing now have my heart and soul, and I've never been happier. Yeah. And this is just the beginning. So absolutely. So how does it work?
Yeah, no, definitely. So we have our community. So we have like a community group where everyone supports each other and chats, and it's kind of like we are a family, so we call it the Meraki family. So everyone gets to know everybody. Right. Everybody becomes friends. We do social evenings. We do nights out. We train together on Zoom at 5:40 in the mornings, so people can train at home, or they can go to the gym and do their workouts. Then we have at the moment we have 2 Q&A calls a week, so everyone jumps on the Zoom, and it's very, very interactive, because I think one of the things that people really struggle with, and this is what really stops people from staying in shape, because life is so busy. There are bills to pay, there's families to look after, there's always some drama. Life is drama, right?
Yes.
And so amongst this drama, this chaos, it's very hard to always put your health and your fitness goals in front of you. So it's the first thing that we drop when we're busy and we're overwhelmed. Yeah. I don't have the time. Okay, let's park the food. Let's park the training. Let's park the walking. And then our mental health deteriorates. Our physical health deteriorates. Illness starts to set in. And so because we have this huge community, and you're on the chat groups, there's always messages, you have your calls in the week. Then you have a weekly check-in with a coach, with one of your coaches. We go through, how's your week been and how can we improve it for next week? Because it's a highly immersive. It's always, you can't forget your fitness goals. You can't forget how important health is, because it's always in your face. And it's my job to hold health and fitness in your face. Go, look, I'm holding it in your face. Yeah. You can't forget about it. Here it is. Here I am. Yeah. Right? Even to the point that, some of my clients are going into the tub, into ice cream freezer, having some ice cream, and their kids would be like, oh, but mum, what would Rowan say? It's because the kids know about me, because I'm in that household. I'm there, So it's that immersive experience that makes it an unforgettable experience.
Wow. I mean, it sounds amazing. Do you have any real transformation stories that stick in your mind that you could share with us?
Yeah. God. One of my best transformations, and my best transformations are never about the weight loss. It's never about the weight loss. So, for example, like one of my clients, Reshma, she's done absolutely amazing, and she's like 54 years old, and she runs rings around the younger people in the fitness classes. But not only has she lost like 37 kg now, right, maybe even 40 kg now. Not only has she done that, she's super fit. She looks so much younger. She feels so much younger. But it's the internal changes. It's the way that she now, thinks, the way that she feels about herself. She's so confident. She's so, she's such a leader. She's always been like that, but she's even more so.
Yeah.
Where she would be the person that was like, not the first person to put their hands up. Now she's the first person to say, no, I'll do this. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
It's that internal transformation. It's just unbelievable. I've got another girl, Rupinder. She's lost 40 kilos as well, and she's exactly the same. She was so shy when she started, and now she's like, can't shut up. It's amazing. She's so confident. She was so shy. Now she's always cracking jokes, and it's like, that is the beauty for me, because they've really changed inside. I don't care about the external, right?
Yeah.
It's the internal changes. That's the beauty. That's what makes the transformation. The transformation's two sides. You've got the external, which most coaches focus on, diet plans and all these kind of things. But then there's the internal, which sits underneath the ground. So you don't see it. It's underneath.
Yeah.
And that's what I specialize in. And that's the most beautiful part. When someone really changes, because when they really change inside, they're never going to go back. Because they're different inside.
Yeah.
They don't go back on because they're a different human.
Oh my God. I was just thinking they are a different person, and, they are never going to go back.
Never.
And they probably wouldn't recognize themselves, if they, as a person, if they met themselves, their 5 years ago, 10 years ago person.
Totally. Because if we look at that same thing where you've got someone who's lost, let's say 20 kg over the top of the ground.
Yeah.
They're 20 kg lighter, but they're the same insecure person.
Yes.
They're the same insecure, unhappy person. They're just 20 kgs lighter. But the person that does the Meraki movement, they are happy. They're not the same person. They're secure. Their mental resilience is there. They're a different person, and so they can't go back. So that's what makes our program. That's the USP that we offer people, is like, no, we're going to change you inside, not outside.
That's phenomenal, because you change inside, and then outside will be like a happy byproduct.
Exactly. That's exactly what I say. It's a byproduct, right? So I'm going to use the word happy now. It's a happy byproduct.
It's a happy byproduct. Oh, teamwork.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Oh. So have you gone on to undergone a personal change as well? I know you did the accountancy, but from the inside, have you been touched by the inside?
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, my own personal journey was, it's a tough one. I'm sure many people resonate with this. I didn't have a great childhood. It's very, very challenging, really, really tough, very unhappy childhood. And when you don't have a great childhood, it affects you. Of course it does. And so when I was older, I was just not a very happy person. I was very angry as well. I was very angry with life. I was angry that, I'd been hurt and upset. I was very depressed.
Gosh.
And to kind of at my lowest point, I actually tried to take my own life. I was unsuccessful in that, thank God. Yeah. And then I was just in such an awful place. And I remember, like, one of my clients, she gave me this book, and she said, "I bought this book for you, Rowan, and I want you to read it." And I took this book. And I was a very negative person, extremely negative. Yeah. I was like, yeah. Took the book and literally put it down on the counter, and then just left it. And then 2 weeks later, she said, "Oh, Rowan, had read the book?" I was like, "Yeah, it was great." She said, "Tell me about it." And I was like, "I didn't read it." And she started crying. She was so upset. She just started crying. And I was like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. You bought me that book." And she said to me, "I walked across London to get you that book because, I couldn't find it." So anyway, I went home that night, read the first 3 chapters, like literally 3 chapters. And then I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, wow." And that book was called The Secret.
Oh.
And that book changed my life. It literally changed my life. I became so positive. And I think, honestly, if you can, I think I see so many people in the world, so many negative people. And if you could just change one thing about yourself and learn to find some positivity and hope, that's a life changer. And that's when I started doing, I've got it here. I didn't have it, it's just here because it's always here. And I started doing journaling.
Right.
So I'd start my day off every morning with doing my journaling, what I'm grateful for in life. And I think a lot of people think it's wishy-washy, journaling, especially the guys, like, journaling. Listen, there's nothing wishy-washy about journaling. All it is, it's science. It's getting your mind to start the day in a productive, positive way. So all of your experiences, interactions in the day are going to be in that aligned to positivity and productivity. So it's a very, there's nothing wishy-washy. It's just science. And so all of my success in my life, I've attributed directly to two things, and that is that's my journal and the secret, because I'm always keeping this with the right attitude. Now, I'm learned it from Tony Robbins. He says your attitude reflects your altitude. If you have a bad attitude, you're going to be having a very low altitude. And so it's always your attitude that will get you places in life.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And thank you so much for sharing that. Tony Robbins, go on then, tell us a little bit about your experience with Tony Robbins. And for those listeners who are new to coaching, look him up.
Yeah, I mean, so I was in a really bad place, and I went to do one of his seminars, and I went, and it's this huge live events, and there's, I think it's like 10,000 people there, and it was such an immersive experience. It was like 3 days long. I stayed in a hotel for 3 days in London, and it really just opened up my mind. It opened up to my mind of like how negativity has been affecting me, and how, people always say, oh, I'm depressed. It's like, no, and I'm going to probably upset people who, I'm going to upset people by saying this, but, I really have this, because I've been depressed. I've been so depressed, I tried to kill myself, right? So I think I have the right to say this, but it's like, I think depression is a choice. Like, depression is a choice. And if we're always saying, I'm depressed, of course you're going to be depressed. If you're going to say, listen, depression doesn't exist, depression is not real, like, it doesn't exist, you're going to start doing more things. You're going to start increasing the quality of your life. You're going to start not lying in bed all day because you're depressed. You're going to get your ass out of bed. And depression, I think, can become an excuse. Depression, again, I don't want to upset anyone, but it can. I've been there. I know it. I helped so many people. I don't do life coaching anymore, but I did, years of life coaching. And I've helped so many clients who are like, you're right, it's a choice. Like, I can choose not to be depressed. I can choose to like I do this Tony Robbins exercise where, we all have bad days. And I'm feeling really crappy, and I just literally shake off that anxiety, shake off that sadness, and in that physical act of like shaking your body, you just feel great. And I would advise anyone, if you're having a bad day, just do that and shake it off. Where you feel better. It's these things that, they're all choices. Like, so yeah.
I've experienced that shake it off thing as well before. It's phenomenal, So before we let you go, thank you very much for sharing that experience. I can't believe how being in a room with 3,000 other people can be so inspiring. When you're listening to Tony Robbins, it's incredible. And did you feel like he was just talking to you, and he was there?
Absolutely. It's like there's like UPW, unleash the power within, and it is that he feels he's talking to you. And actually, it's so funny because it's funny you just said that. I didn't even realize. All of my clients, when I do these like daily videos, on our community groups, and I'm talking about something, and then people message me going, "My God, were you talking to me?" and the funny thing is, like, and I got that, listening to Tony Robbins, he's talking to me, because the funny thing is, you don't realize you've got 3,000 or 10,000 people in a room. We all share the same problems.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about one thing, you're talking to, 8,000 other people. And that's what I've noticed in the community, in the Meraki Movement, is that if I'm talking to you and you've got a particular problem, I've also helped 80 other people. Yeah. And that's why I don't do these, like, a lot of coaches do like one-to-one calls. I think it's a waste of time. Why would you want to do a one-to-one call with a client and you booked in 10 clients, you've got 10 hours of calls a week? you're helping 10 people, right? And not even efficiently. I'd rather have 200 people in a room and talk to 200 people with one problem and help 180 people in 1 hour. And that's how you touch more people. That's how you connect with more people. And that's how you help change more lives.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. That's incredible. Now I know you're going to get your million.
That's it.
That's now how you're going to get your million.
Not
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for being so candid, for being so open and sharing your story with us. Rowan, can I just ask you, for any budding coaches out there, if you had to give them 1-2 pieces of advice, to get them on the right path, what would you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, for any industry of coach, fitness or life coaching or whatever, like professional business, like you have to believe in yourself. Like what I've learned, I was pitching for a contract, and I remember turning around to my partner at the time and saying, like, how much should I pitch for this contract? And she said, well, how much would you like? And I said, well, I'd love to. She said, how much do you think I'm worth? I'm worth 20,000. So we bought a contract. I pitched a contract for £20,000 for 30 days work, and I got it. And what that taught me was, and then that was a standard for me. So anyone who wanted to work with me was like 20,000 minimum. And what it taught me was, if you believe in yourself, that's all you need, because people actually buy into your belief.
Yeah.
People buy into your belief. And if you don't believe yourself, they're like, nah, this guy can't help me, man. They sense it.
Yeah.
As a coach, believe in yourself. You have to be good. You should do the work. You've done the skills. You know that you can do the job.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe that you can do it, it's no good. So you have to have utter self-belief. There should be no doubt, no hesitation. I'm the guy or I'm the girl. I'm going to help solve your problem. I know I can. And then you can start changing lives.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal advice. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed everything you've had to say. Thank you for imparting all your wisdom. Good luck with everything else. Not that you needed it. Do you have, if somebody's inspired by you, wants to get in touch with you, what should they do?
Yeah. So just our website is the MerakiMovement.com. Just flip onto there or flip onto my Instagram _ the Meraki Movement. And probably the Instagram's probably the easiest one. Just flip me a message, and me and one of my team can get back to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing what you do in the future, because I know this is not everything for you, is it? Because I can see you are a go-getter. There's got to be lots more for you. Yes?
Scratching the surface, Darshana.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Bye.